Tonight, I thought Monmouth came in and really played hard and executed, shot the ball extremely well. They made some tough shots. They battled, but we expected that. I thought for us tonight we just didn't have. We had too many dips. I thought we had some spurts, and then we just kind of didn't continue and stay consistent with it. So that was the difference. I thought, I think we got up big. I think we got about 14, and then we had too many dips. Obviously, we got to work on that. I was always talking about being a work in progress. I don't think our energy was there consistently, and that was the difference. When our energy is there and our focus is there, that makes a difference. So, we have to continue to work on that. But it was some good things. We still kind of closed the game out. Thought, we went up there, made some free throws, fought through some adversity. It was the first game that we faced this year with that adversity. So, to be able to pull it out, that's a good, encouraging sign. But, still, we just got to keep getting better. This is 4 games in. I think we can take a lot out of this game and get better and get prepared to move forward. Questions?
Coach, how would you just assess JJ's play tonight, obviously, after missing the last
I thought JJ was good. I thought he got downhill. I thought he put pressure on the rim. Obviously trying to work his way back in, being out for so long. We tried to, keep him in some short stints. Overall, I thought his competitiveness took over, and he wanted to, push a little bit more. But I thought JJ was fine for the first time being out there for a while.
Adrian, the free throw shooting hasn't been great through the first 3 games. Tonight obviously got a little worse. How big of a concern is this for you?
I mean, we'll get better. We'll get better with that. Continually work on that. Again, I think we have guys that are capable of making them, and I think eventually, we'll get that going. But if we made some of our free throws, the game would be a little bit different. But it really didn't come down to free throws. It was really about our energy. I just thought our dips, too many inconsistent defensive efforts. We put together 3 minutes, and then 2-3 minutes is not good. So that's what I'm really concerned about is that.
Right. How did the way this game was officiated affect how you coached the game and substituted and went with the flow of things?
We knew it would be a physical game. I don't think it changed much for us. We played out 8, 9, 10 guys that we normally would play. So again, I think that's the luxury of it. I mean, we didn't have Tyler today, so that was probably a little bit different. But it was a physical game. The referees called a lot of fouls. I think it was almost over 50 free throws taken on both sides. So it's a physical game, but we got to be able to play those games, and it was a good game for us.
Coach, the play of Nate King, just what you saw from him tonight, with this team being able to stave off the Hawks.
I thought he was big for us tonight. I thought his threes, we needed them all. We didn't get enough up tonight. We only had 17 attempts, but some of that was due to their defense and their aggression. I thought they ran us off the line, so we had to attack, put the ball on the floor. But I thought he was really good. Nate, obviously he's a very good shooter, but defensively, he just does the job. He does all the dirty work. He's a very versatile defender. He's important to this team, not only because of his shot making, but his defense.
Coach, you mentioned too many dips tonight in the energy level. That wasn't a problem over the first 3 games. What do you think was the difference in the mentality coming in or in general that led to that today?
I think that's what we're always fighting against as coaches, is trying to get that consistency, that level of consistency, and the brand of basketball that we play. We want to be up in people's personal space, and it expends a lot of energy. And today, again, we had dips. We had moments where we got it, where we looked like we would kind of string together some stops, but we just couldn't get it tonight. But a lot of it too was, Monmouth, they did a good job of handling our pressure, moving the ball, getting the ball to good places. They stretched us out a little bit. So some of it was us, but give credit to Monmouth as well. They had a good game plan.
Adrian, what kind of work have you been trying to do with JJ on his free throw shooting?
You just shoot them. I think obviously shooting is a lot of mental stuff. So you try not to put too much into that. You just want to try to give him some reps and give him some things and just kind of work his way through it. He'll be better. I'm not worried about that. He hasn't played in a couple of days, but I think he'll get better. He'll find his rhythm, and shooting his rhythm. He'll find his rhythm. So I'm not worried about that.
Coach, Donnie led your team with 18 points today. Where have you seen him improve the most from his freshman year now as a sophomore?
This was obviously, we know Donnie can score. I think the challenge has been really on the defensive end, and today was one of those games where I thought he had some dips, and I thought that was a challenge. But the biggest way he's improved has been on the defensive end of it, today in general was, that wasn't one of his better days, but he's been really good the first three, and he'll continue to improve, and that's where I think he's grown at.
Coach, Tyler had a boot on his left foot. Do you expect to have him in Vegas?
We do. Yeah, we do.
First two games you scored, 80-plus points, were able to get out and run. Monmouth kind of shut that down a little bit. Offensively, when you can't get those transition points, how would you assess the offense tonight?
Our offense is, I've been saying it all along, it's been like a work in progress. I think, we're not running in transition like we need to. We got to get our corners filled a little bit more. Some kick aheads, I think we're holding it a little bit too much. So we got to do a better job with that, working on that. And I also think, we make a couple more of our free throws. We're at 80-something again. We haven't played really, a consistent flow of offense the way we want yet.
Kine was visibly frustrated at one point in the first half. Just wondering what he was frustrated about. And I saw you go over and talk to him. Just what did you say to him there?
Well, I think this was the first game, that he came out where, someone, the team had a plan for him. They really, made him pass the ball and get the ball out. And it was physical. It was the first time, I thought they missed a couple, but, just going in there and, they made it tough for him to finish. I thought they did a good job of making him work a little bit more, and it was the first time, so he'll be fine. He's a competitor. He'll be fine. He'll be able to bounce back from this.
Coach, when you look at tonight's game, what's the biggest thing that you have to clean up in practice this week before heading to face the caliber of teams you're going to face in Las Vegas?
Like I've been saying all along, our consistency with our effort, and that's the main focus. Our energy and our effort. Level 5 and our communication. All about us. Like we have to do that, and that's a work in progress continually. Again, we have to continue to work that because, if we can do that, we'll be okay. If we can do that consistently, we'll be okay. So it's just continually trying to get better in that aspect of, our communication, our effort, our energy level, and then everyone, kind of doing it together. So we just got to do a better job of that.
Time for one more. You talked about the physicality of tonight. It's no secret the physicality that Houston and Kansas is going to throw at you. How do you simulate that? How do you get better handling the physicality?
No, this is the most physical team we played, and I thought in the first half, we kind of took a step back, and then I thought the second half we started matching that intensity a little bit. We just got to, again, if we practice the way we need to practice with our energy level, we'll be fine, right? If we just continue to do that. We've done that for the most part. Today was the first game where, again, we had dips, and we were playing against a pretty physical team. Again, we had a couple of rebounds that we just couldn't grab, or we grabbed and we fumbled it. So we got to do a better job of that, and I think that's what you're talking about. But we just got to keep, improving and getting to our energy 5 level every day in practice.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.